So let's move on to value point number 2 for MSPs that are using Perfect Project for ConnectWise. So I'm going to drill in to this accurate implementation project, which again, we see there's something going on that's creating this low RPAC score. So when I drill in, this is one of the visualizations that you're going to get inside of Perfect Project, and it's awesome. We call this our critical path view, which it's a network diagram visual, and it's very clear to see where the bottlenecks are happening with the way that it's set up here. So I'm going to zoom in at 100% and drag the screen over. You'll notice any of these check marks. Again, these boxes would be the Movila tasks, which would be the exact same thing as a ticket over in ConnectWise. So whether your engineers are marking their tickets in ConnectWise complete or they're in Perfect Project and they're updating the status of their tasks in our solution, it's going to mark that task as complete. But we all of a sudden see that there's this big red circle on the top line, which is the critical path at the very top. But this send the file task was actually it's late. It's 15 days late, actually. And because we have this bottleneck happening, all of these other tasks downstream, their dates are being impacted to a point where they're all invalid, they're old, they're stale, bad dates. But you'll notice at the bottom in purple, there's new, accurate, suggested dates, where you could just quickly update the timeline when these delays are occurring. Now, if you were to try to do this within ConnectWise and the project that you've got set up, a lot of the times MSPs are not even using the dependencies that you can do just because it doesn't provide the level of sophistication you need to build out your dependencies to form parallel work streams. So there's really no automations as far as like, hey, if you have bad dates, like what do we update it to? So you'd have to spend a lot of time manually updating those downstream tickets to a point where that would become your full-time job. So a lot of people aren't even updating their dates when they have delays, which, as we all know, bad dates and projects, that's only going to lead to bad data and information that's flowing up to other financial reports and billing and invoicing. It just has a bad downstream impact when you don't have good data. So we help ensure that you don't have those bad dates because we'll let you know if you do. So this is big value point number 2 is the fact you can already go in here, update your timeline. We're going to, again, do all of the math for you. These date suggestions are taking into account holidays you all recognize as a company, weekends if no one's working on the weekends. And so if I were to click save here, it would update all of those dates to the new purple dates so that you don't have to worry about thinking about any of that manually. So I'm not going to save any of that right now, but you'll be able to see exactly, all of that data that you update it to as far as the dates go. It's going to flow back over into the associated project within ConnectWise. So I hope you found this helpful. Stay tuned. I've got one more huge value point that I want to make sure that I'm pointing out so that you can clearly see how Perfect Project can really create a lot of efficiencies and save you all a bunch of time. Thanks so much.